In the country's cities, many traumatic forced removals happened during apartheid. These displacements tore communities apart. Angelo Fick investigates the memories of the past which still linger in Cape Town's District 6 and Loyolo communities.
Land restitution is often regarded as a rural question about farmland. But with a history of forced removals across many of its urban areas, there are also claims conflicts in South Africa's towns and cities. District 6, in the heart of Cape Town, is perhaps one of the most infamous sites of such degrading displacements. The stories of people like 91-year-old Annie Bam reveal the human faces behind the headlines.
I got married in Mackenzie Street. We stayed in Wig Street. I grew up there. And when I went to Trafalgar High in Standard 7I, we moved to Mackenzie Street. And from there, I got a job and I worked and I got married there. You know, Cape Town was such a lively place because there were gangsters, groups. I won't call them gangsters, groups. And they would sit on the corner and sing, but they would harmonize. Ooh, you know. And when I lay in bed as a child, and they come past and they go home, then it's like, in Afrikaans we call it heimwee. I asked my granddaughter, what noem jy dit? When it goes so nice and you enjoy it and you lay in bed and you think, oh, but this is lovely. So she says, heimwee. Ek sê, nou kry ek so heimwee. But it was beautiful.
Memories of her eviction are still painfully fresh.
And they told me to move, and I had my children with me. 2 of my children were married. I went to the station and I thought I must go to Manenberg. I didn't know Manenberg. I had to go and fetch my kid, don't know where. But I was sitting on that station and I cried. And I said, Lord, I thought, how can I leave the place where I was born in? What will I do with my children now?
Now that she's returned, little of what she remembers is still around.
They changed everything, yeah. There we lived, in Mackenzie Street, where we lived. It's a old people's home now. Everything is so changed. It's only the Bloomer Flats, but the Bloomer Flats is beautified.
But what was taken and lost in the past cannot always be returned. The city of Cape Town has an expansive vision for the development of the area where Annie Bam now lives.
The development framework proposes high-rise and high-density in the districts. It proposes mixed-use development comprised of residential, business and public facilities, basically. So if you look at it, business, it's being taken care of, residents in terms of residential units or houses in the area, and community facilities, it's also being taken into consideration.
But there are concerns about how much the community will be directly involved in the plans.
Technically, again, the land belongs to CPUT. And on the one hand, there's a kind of argument that says that people can do what they want to with land that they own. But on the other hand, I don't think they actually can, because it feels like a continuation of the apartheid project, because that attempt was made ages ago, and it seems to be completed in this very strange celebratory phase of return.
They're building something there for the students also, and the people is not so satisfied with it because that's part of District 6. They're building for the students, college people, and we used to stand up there with placards, and I used to stand with them to disagree about what that is going to do, but I don't know what they're going to do now.
People need housing, people want to see development, and so if you offer people something that looks like it's going to further the interest of their housing needs, the interest of memorialization kind of becomes secondary to that. And we're trying to make the argument that the two need to speak to each other. The one, and what's happening now is development is obliterating memory.
On the other side of the mountain overlooking False Bay lies Simonstown. It is the site of South Africa's only full naval base. In 1965, the town was declared a whites-only area, and several communities were forcibly removed to other parts of the Greater Cape Town area. Some of them were taken to Gugulethu on the Cape Flats.
What I can say I remember about walking in Simonstown is that the place, nearly like Sea Point because it's up there, but we didn't have like streets. We had places, we had steps called mitangala. Mitangala. We would jump from the stones, it was just stones, and then we would just jump all the time, and then we would also jump down when we go home.
The Maputo cousins submitted a land claim in 1998, along with hundreds of others forced out of Simonstown. They opted for money. But there is a darker side to the restitution process, for which many are now paying a new price.
So when the restitution process came, what happened was they gave the community a choice. You can either receive financial compensation or you can get your land back. And the land was taking time, it was very difficult, so we split the community into two groups. One was getting financial compensation, the other getting land. But this simple move ended up tearing this community apart.
We received 22,000. They received double that amount. The people who opted for land or housing, we heard that they received double that amount.
That's what we wanted to know. When we asked
why
them,
didn't they get the same 22,000 that we were given? Why did they get 54,000?
650. And we asked them also, you never went for money. You said you want houses. All of a sudden now you're all changing.
Complications in land claims aren't unusual.
People's experience of a process that should be celebratory and supportive has been in some measure traumatic. And so the Land Restitution Act is wonderful and all the processes that have been put in place. But when it comes to how people experience it on the ground, from not having a telephone call answered, from coming all the way from wherever you're living in the township, spending the transport, sitting in a queue, not being attended to, documents that have been lost within the department, resubmitting, getting lost, change of administration. There seem to be so many different people that, they have a high turnover, I think, in terms of staff. And so the continuity within the department has added to the trauma.
Even the minister admits the first round could have been handled more humanely.
I think we need more passion. Not just the technical, administrative challenges, but we need more passion among our people, so that we can serve people with passion. And once we have that passion, you'll get out of your way, get out there, do the best you can, work throughout, solve the problem. This is one area which I found to be a weakness: problem solving, the passion to get it done.
And then there is the question of money, a fraught subject.
It was just like, give these people this money and just get rid of them. That's how I felt about it. So that the claim can be done. We've done Simonstown, we've finished. Because these houses were not like this. These houses, they were just 4-roomed little things that with sink doors. We have to spend money on these houses.
I didn't have money, 65,000 to pay for this house. Then I said to my youngest daughter, well, she pays the bond. Because we're supposed to get our monies back now.
Every year on Heritage Day since 1994, many people from the communities removed from places like Simonstown and District 6 return to their former homes to remember the way things were and to reinscribe themselves into a history from which they have been erased. Angelo Fick, Cape Town.
For more information on eNCA's land reform series, visit our website at enca.com. Also, look out for our special panel discussions where experts will thresh out some of the country's key land reform issues. I'm Xoli Mgambi, and thank you for watching.